Usually when we talk about buying something online, there's this baked-in expectation of precision.
Hmm.
It's like checking out at a grocery store. You see the price on the shelf, you put the item in your cart, you scan it, and the register shows that exact same number.
Right, yeah.
You swipe your card, and you're done. There's no mystery.
Well, it's a clean transaction on the consumer side, sure.
Yeah.
But for the merchant operating behind the scenes, digital commerce is, it's anything but binary.
Oh, absolutely.
The mechanics of what actually gets charged to a business's bank account, it operates on this completely different, much messier timeline.
And that disconnect is exactly why we're here today.
Ah.
So welcome to today's deep dive. It is August 26th, 2026, and if you are a learner out there trying to protect your margins or, just someone fascinated by the hidden mechanics of e-commerce, we have a vital mission for you today.
We really do. We are looking under the hood of Shopify shipping label costs. Because right now, merchants are clicking buy on shipping labels thinking they're paying one definitive price, only to have what amounts to, like, a reverse ATM silently suck money out of their accounts weeks later.
It really is like a reverse ATM, and the problem is fundamentally one of focus.
Okay, how so?
Well, we are in this era of intense information overload, right? And merchants will just agonize for weeks over optimizing their software setting.
Oh yeah, the settings panels.
Right. They want to upgrade their subscription plans to get better shipping discounts, assuming the software holds the key to profitability.
Right.
Meanwhile, they are completely ignoring the physical realities of their own packing bench.
Which is where the real money is going.
Exactly, which is where the actual financial bleeding occurs.
So let's start right at the front door then, this myth of the discount ceiling. Because as a merchant, this seems like simple math. You look at your platform's pricing tier and you think, okay, if I pay for a more expensive monthly plan, I am going to unlock cheaper shipping labels.
Naturally.
I mean, it's like paying a massive cover charge for the VIP room. You expect the drinks inside to be cheaper than what the people out on the main floor are paying.
You would certainly think so, but the reality of the platform era's pricing structure today completely flattens that assumption.
Okay.
Historically, there was a tiered system. If you look back to January 1, 2025, there were two distinct rungs on the ladder.
Okay, so a little over a year ago.
Yeah. The entry-level basic plan offered shipping discounts of up to 77%.
Okay.
The higher tiers, so Grow, Advanced, and Plus, they offered up to 88%.
So under that old system, if my volume is high enough, paying to jump from basic to Grow is a no-brainer. I mean, I'm literally buying my way from 77% to 88%.
This is the logic. That was the whole draw.
Yeah.
But by April 1st, 2026, the ceiling for those upper tier quietly dropped down to 87%.
Oh, okay. So a little shave off the top.
Right, but it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Because if we look at the live comparison tables today, right now in late August 2026, that ladder no longer exists.
Like it's gone.
It's completely gone. Every single paid plan from basic all the way up to plus advertises the exact same ceiling. It just says up to 87% off.
Wait, really?
Yes.
So they basically open the VIP room doors to everyone, but the bartender is charging the exact same price no matter what wristband you have on.
That is a perfect way to look at it.
But I feel like, I mean, if you search the internet for tips on lowering shipping costs, you see hundreds of articles telling you to upgrade to get that 88% rate.
Which is why relying on outdated secondary information is just so dangerous for a merchant's margins right now.
Yeah.
The published percentage on those pricing pages is little more than a marketing ceiling. In fact, if you actually look at the code of the website, like the literal HTML rendering in your browser.
Oh, wow. We're doing the inspect element thing.
Exactly. If you inspect it, that 87% figure isn't hardwired into the platform's core architecture. It's dynamically injected.
Meaning what? Like they just move a blank space on the web page and fill it in later?
Essentially, yes. It functions like a digital billboard. The platform can paint a new number on that billboard at any second without having to push a massive update to their underlying software.
Wow.
It's a cosmetic marketing figure, not a structural guarantee. And here's the really funny part.
Yeah.
If you navigate away from the main pricing page and go to Shopify as a specific USPS page today, it still invites merchants to save up to 88%.
You're kidding. So the marketing is totally fragmented. The left hand says 87, the right hand says 88, and neither actually dictates what I'm paying when I ship, a hoodie to Chicago.
Precisely. The discount percentage you see in a marketing brochure is practically irrelevant to your daily operations.
All right.
I mean, you should upgrade your software plan if you need more staff accounts or deeper reporting analytics or custom checkout features. But putting the shipping discount on the scale to justify a software upgrade is just a mathematical trap.
Okay, so if that 87% ceiling applies to everybody, why do merchants' final shipping bills almost never match the price they originally clicked on the screen? I mean, if I click a label that says $8.50, I expect to pay $8.50.
Right.
But you're saying the real cost isn't even decided when I hit the buy button?
No, not at all. To understand why the final price morphs, we have to follow the actual flow of money.
Oh.
When you purchase a shipping label through the platform's built-in system, you are not handing your credit card to UPS or the Postal Service.
I'm paying Shopify.
Exactly. The platform acts as a middleman. Shopify bills your merchant account, and then Shopify settles up with the carrier on the back end.
Hold on. If they're the ones billing me, then if I void a label because I made a mistake, I'm not getting cash back to my bank account, am I?
Nope.
Because Shopify already took the money, so they're just going to issue me,
Yeah.
what, platform credit for future labels?
That is the exact mechanism. Refunds come as label credit, not cash. But more importantly, this middleman structure sets the stage for post-purchase price adjustments.
Okay, the reverse ATM.
Yes. So after you print that label and hand your box to the delivery driver, it goes to a carrier sorting facility.
Right.
There, it travels down this high-speed conveyor belt equipped with automated laser scanners and scales. They literally reweigh and remeasure every single package.
Every single one.
Every single one. It's entirely automated.
So if the physical box flying down that conveyor belt disagrees with the dimensions I typed into my software, the carrier flags it.
Instantly.
And because Shopify is the middleman, the carrier doesn't send me a bill. They penalize Shopify, and Shopify just passes that penalty straight through to my next invoice.
Without hesitation. The carrier issues an adjustment either debiting the difference if you underpaid or crediting it if you overpaid.
Which, let's be honest, is usually a debit.
Usually, yes. And the critical piece of data here is why these adjustments happen. There are 10 primary triggers for a carrier adjustment in the documentation. 7 of them originate directly at the merchant's physical packing bench.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
That means the vast majority of these surprise bills aren't software glitches. It's entirely human error on our end.
We're talking about fundamental operational leaks here. I mean, a merchant might leave the product weight blank in their database, forcing the software to blindly guess the weight.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Or they put a heavy weight-based item into a carrier-branded flat-rate box.
Right.
Or they use unsupported packaging like a cylindrical poster tube.
Wait, why does a poster tube trigger a penalty? It's just cardboard.
Think about the physics of that high-speed conveyor belt.
Okay.
A cylindrical tube rolls.
Oh, of course.
It won't stay neatly under the laser scanner, and it can actually jam the sorting machinery. So carriers have to pull cylinders off the line and process them manually.
And manual labor costs money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Manual labor costs money, so they hit you with a surcharge. And the same goes for failing to fully encase a product in corrugated cardboard. Like if you ship an item wrapped in wood or metal or polystyrene foam, it can damage other parcels on the belt. That triggers another immediate handling fee.
And if you scale these errors up, it's not just a few cents here and there. I mean, I'm looking at the oversized penalty data for UPS right now.
It's brutal.
If a merchant accidentally ships a parcel that exceeds 150 pounds or exceeds their strict dimensional limits, it can trigger an over-limit fee of more than $875 for a single package.
Yeah. That single handling error could wipe out the profit margin for an entire week for a small business.
Easily.
And it highlights a massive systemic risk because if the digital scale on your packing bench is calibrated wrong or, if you log the weight of a new product incorrectly in your inventory system,
Oh, no.
it doesn't just impact one customer's order. Every single parcel you ship containing that item is going to be flagged by the laser scanners.
Every single box.
The carrier will systematically rebill you for every single box, and those adjustment charges will quietly arrive on your invoice weeks later, attached to orders you already considered closed and profitable.
That is the reverse ATM in full effect. You think you're making money, but the machine is just silently clawing it back.
Exactly.
And I want to talk about another operational leak that really blew my mind, which happens before the label is even purchased, the default package trap.
Oh, this is perhaps the most invisible margin killer in the entire ecosystem.
So in your administrative settings, you have to save a default box.
Right.
Let's say you mostly ship shoes, so you set your default package as a 12 by 10 by 6-inch cardboard box. What happens when a customer comes to your website and orders a tiny pair of shoelaces? You are obviously going to toss those laces into a small, cheap bubble mailer at your packing bench.
Sure.
But at checkout, the software doesn't know that. It quotes the customer the shipping rate for the laces sitting inside that massive 12-inch default box.
Which creates a lose-lose scenario for the merchant. On one hand, the customer sees an exorbitant shipping fee for a tiny pair of shoelaces, and they just abandon their cart entirely. You lose the sale.
Right.
But on the other hand, let's say a customer orders 3 heavy pairs of shoes. The software crams all 3 into that single default box for the, quote, drastically underestimating the size and weight.
So it's quoting way too low.
Exactly. The customer pays a super low shipping fee, but when you actually pack the order into a massive heavy crate to fit all those shoes, the real label costs you double what you collected. You eat the loss.
Which perfectly illustrates your point from earlier.
Yeah.
Before anyone spends a month debating whether they need a more expensive software subscription, they really need to spend an hour auditing their physical reality,
Yes.
calibrate the scale,
Yeah.
measure the cardboard to the exact inch, set a default package that accurately reflects the median order size.
Closing those 7 packing bench leaks will save you infinitely more money than chasing an illusory 87% marketing discount.
So we've established that physical boxes are draining margins. But even if you pack everything perfectly in a bubble mailer, you can still lose money because of where you physically stand when you hit print.
That's right.
The geography of your warehouse dictates a whole layer of invisible taxes and fees.
The physical location of your fulfillment center is arguably the most restrictive factor in your entire shipping strategy. It absolutely overrides the customer's location when it comes to carrier availability.
How so? I mean, if I'm shipping a package to someone in London, shouldn't the options be based on getting it to London?
Well, the destination determines the rate, but your origin determines your leverage.
Okay.
Right now, in August 2026, if your fulfillment center is physically located in the United States or the United Kingdom, the platform natively integrates with 5 different carriers.
Great. Lots of options.
You can shop around, compare rates, and optimize your costs internally. But if your warehouse is in Australia, the platform only connects you to one internal option, which is Australia Post. You have zero ability to comparison shop within the native dashboard.
You're just locked into whatever rate they hand you.
Exactly.
And what about the actual international handoff? Because the acronyms BDP and DAP get thrown around a lot. And, they sound like dry logistics jargon, but they dictate a very physical reality for the person receiving the package.
They completely alter the customer experience. So DDP stands for Delivered Duty Paid.
Okay.
That means all the customs duties and import taxes are calculated at checkout. The customer pays them up front, and those fees are baked right into the label you buy.
So it's smooth. The package arrives seamlessly at their door.
Exactly. Now, DAP is delivered at place.
Right.
The label only covers the transportation. When that package hits the border, the carrier stops, calculates the import taxes, and literally holds the package hostage.
Wow.
The customer gets a knock on their door or a slip in their mailbox demanding cash before they can have their item.
Which is a fantastic way to guarantee the customer never buys from you again. I mean, they feel completely ambushed by the extra bill.
And here is the geographical trap with that. Not all carriers support DDP.
No.
The native carrier tables show that DHL e-commerce operates strictly on a DAP basis.
Wait, strictly.
Strictly. So if a merchant builds a global expansion strategy, assuming they can just use DHL e-commerce to provide a seamless duties-paid experience, their entire logistics chain is going to hit a brick wall. The platform physically won't let you buy a DDP label for that carrier.
Man. Okay, speaking of taxes, the way the government taxes the shipping label itself, and to be clear, I'm not talking about the goods inside, but the actual digital label you buy that tax is completely invisible until it's too late.
That is because the tax on a shipping label is never shown to you on the purchase screen when you click buy.
Which is so frustrating.
It is calculated after the fact and quietly appended to your aggregate invoice. And it varies wildly depending on the geographic coordinates of your warehouse.
Right.
If you operate out of France or the United Kingdom, you pay 0 tax on your shipping labels. It's exempt.
But if I'm operating out of the United States,
It becomes highly localized. The U.S. doesn't have a blanket rule. Tax on labels is only levied in 6 specific jurisdictions.
you know which ones.
Yeah, it's Arizona, the District of Columbia, Hawaii, New Mexico, Puerto Rico, and West Virginia.
Okay.
And it's applied based on the rate of the label's destination.
So if I'm running a store in Arizona, I can't just, I can't call up a buddy running a similar store in London and compare our shipping costs.
No, you can't.
It's not an apples-to-apples comparison. My final invoice is absorbing invisible geographic taxes that they simply don't have.
Exactly.
And it gets even more complicated and, frankly, a lot more expensive if your warehouse is north of the border. Walk me through the Canada Post currency loop, because this is wild.
This is the definitive example of invisible margin erosion. Let's trace the server-level mechanics here.
Okay, I'm with you.
You are a Canadian merchant. You click Buy on a Canada Post shipping label. That label's base price is calculated in Canadian dollars.
Makes sense.
However, Shopify operates its internal label billing ledger in US dollars. So the platform takes that CAD label price and converts it to USD based on the daily exchange rate.
Okay, so the label is temporarily sitting on my invoice as a US dollar amount.
Exactly. But you are a Canadian business, so your overall Shopify subscription and billing settings are likely configured to pay in Canadian dollars.
Right.
When your billing cycle hits, the platform has to take that US dollar invoice and convert it back into Canadian dollars to actually charge your credit card.
Let me get this straight. I am buying a Canadian label from a Canadian postal service to ship from my Canadian warehouse, paying my bill in Canadian dollars.
Yes.
But because the platform routes the math through a US ledger, I get forced through a double currency conversion loop.
Yes, and that loop is not free. That final conversion back to your local currency incurs a silent 1.5% exchange fee.
A 1.5% fee right off the top of my shipping budget. And I never even saw it coming because none of that math is displayed on the button when I bought the label. It just gets buried in the final invoice.
On a low-margin package, losing 1.5% to a back-end server translation is devastating. It's just another reminder that the number you see on the screen is an illusion.
All right, let's take a breath and synthesize where we are. We know the 87% discount ladder is a mirage.
Right.
Upgrading your plan doesn't unlock a secret tier of cheap labels. We know the real price is dictated by our physical packing bench and the geographic location of our warehouse. So I have to ask the ultimate question. Is there literally any shipping-related reason to justify upgrading from the basic subscription plan?
Mathematically, yes. There is one highly specific differentiator between the tiers, and that is shipping insurance.
Oh, this makes sense. If the label price doesn't change, the safety net attached to it does.
Exactly. If your store is based in the U.S. and you use Shopify payments, the upper tier plans to Grow, Advance, and Plus, they automatically include $200 of shipping insurance on eligible labels at no extra cost.
And the basic plan?
The basic plan offers zero included insurance. Every dollar of coverage has to be purchased out of pocket.
So if I sell high-value electronics, upgrading suddenly becomes a math problem, not a marketing one. How much does it actually cost to buy that insurance if I'm stuck on the basic plan?
The baseline premiums are 89 cents per $100 of coverage for domestic U.S. shipments, and $1.29 per $100 of coverage for international shipments.
That sounds cheap, but there is a massive catch in how they calculate it, the rounding rule.
Yes.
Because I was looking at this, and it's like having to buy eggs by the full carton. If you only need 2 eggs, you still have to buy the whole dozen. You can't just insure the exact dollar amount of your package. You have to buy coverage in $100 increments, and they always round up.
Precisely. The system does not prorate.
Let's walk through a practical scenario to see how fast that compounds.
Sure.
Imagine you are shipping an international parcel. The goods inside are worth $250.
Okay.
The international shipping cost is $20.50. If you want to insure both the product and the shipping cost, your total coverage needed is $270.50.
Okay, so let's do the math on that. $270.50. Because you cross the $200 threshold, even just by $70, it bumps you into the third bracket. You have to buy 3 $100 increments. So for an international shipment, the rate is $1.29 per increment. 3 times 1.29 cents. That's $3.87 for the insurance premium on that single parcel.
Now apply that to a merchant's actual volume. If you are shipping 1,000 of those parcels a month on the basic plan, you are paying that full $3.87 every single time.
Wow, yeah.
That's nearly $3,900 a month in insurance premiums alone. But if you upgrade to the Grow plan, the first $200 of that coverage is included automatically.
Yeah.
You only have to pay for that final top-up bracket.
I see what you're saying. So if you ship high volumes of goods over $200, the included insurance on the Grow plan completely subsidizes the monthly cost of upgrading your subscription.
Yes. You don't upgrade for cheaper labels, you upgrade to stop paying retail price for insurance cartons.
That is the exact mathematical justification, though a merchant really must be vigilant about the exceptions.
There are always exceptions.
Right. Even if you upgrade, that insurance umbrella has holes. You cannot insure USPS first-class mail, and you cannot insure shipments sent via UPS to Puerto Rico. They are entirely ineligible.
Good to know. And if something does go wrong, I assume the clock to file a claim is pretty unforgiving.
Extremely. If you void a label and want a refund on the premium you paid, you have exactly 30 days. And again, that refund comes as credit, not cash.
Right, the credit thing again.
Yep. If a package is genuinely lost or damaged and you need to file a claim, you cannot file in the first 24 hours. It has to actually be in transit. But you absolutely must file within 120 days of the shipping date.
No exceptions.
If you miss that window by a single day, your coverage is void.
It all comes back to the fine print. So bringing this all together, if you are the learner listening to this right now and you feel like your shipping margins are slowly bleeding out, do not immediately assume the solution is to throw more monthly subscription money at the platform.
No, absolutely not. The most lucrative action you can take today is entirely offline. Go to your packing bench, calibrate your scale, measure your actual cardboard boxes, making sure to round up to the nearest inch because that is exactly what the carrier's automated laser scanners are going to do.
Yep.
Go into your digital admin and fix your default package settings so your checkout quotes reflect reality. And finally, review your warehouse locations to ensure you aren't silently hemorrhaging margin to invisible taxes or currency conversion loops.
It's unglamorous physical work, but it's the only way to plug the leaks.
Yeah.
But before we sign off, there is one last detail that points to a massive operational shift on the horizon.
Oh, yes.
The documentation mentions that the machinery behind the shipping rates your customer is quoted at checkout is moving to a completely new architecture across late 2026 and 2027. They're calling it market-driven shipping.
Yes, and it is a foundational paradigm shift. It means the checkout engine is going to completely decouple from the administrative label engine. The price the customer sees will be generated by broad market data, not by the specific weight and dimensions of the label you eventually buy.
So those checkout quotes will completely detach from the rigid 87% marketing ceiling, and they won't even rely on the physical bench weight mechanics we just spent all this time optimizing.
Not at all.
Which leaves us with a wild open question for the future of e-commerce. How will merchants maintain their profit margins when the price the customer agrees to pay at checkout has absolutely no mathematical relationship to the final invoice the carrier ultimately sends?
It is going to require an entirely new level of vigilance. When that cord is fully cut, the transparency of the transaction disappears entirely.
It's going to make reading the X-ray of our operations harder than ever.
Well, you've definitely given us a practical roadmap for today. Keep those scales calibrated, audit your cardboard, and always question the number on the screen.
Knowledge only protects your margins if you apply it. Audit your physical space today.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.